Okay. I guess we'll try this. It's on the clock. So hopefully this works. But hey, what's going on? So we have Joe here, and we've been working together. I think it's been about 10 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and he's made some really awesome progress. We actually know each other. We went to high school together, and we reconnected. And he's got a pretty unique story. And for anyone that's out there struggling and thinking that their circumstances or their history is really holding them back from really getting into shape. You know, at the end of the day, Joe wanted to lose weight. He really wanted to change how he looked and more importantly, how he felt. And he's got some, very unique health circumstances going on that, we even talked about that limited him from really committing and making the progress that he really wanted in the past. So he's overcome a lot of those things and he's still working towards them. But I want to bring him on here and just kind of share his story and just how well that he's doing. So Joe, if you want to just share a little bit about that, that would be awesome, I think.
Yeah. So, like Bruno said, I had some health issues. For those who know me, I'm a cancer survivor. I had leukemia when I was in high school. And for those who don't know, a lot of the treatments for that do a number on your body, including steroids and just chemotherapy, just wreck your body and your organs. And in high school, I was probably my biggest. I was around 315 pounds. And a lot of that was just from what was going on in my body. And then as I've gotten older, I've tried every diet under the sun, trying to get in shape. Never had an issue with the working out. I love working out. I love being in the gym, but I could never seem to get the diet piece right. And it became this endless cycle of starting a diet, losing 10 pounds, putting it back on, plus a couple extra pounds. And it just kept going and going. And I finally got to the point with my kidneys being borderline stage 3 chronic kidney disease right now, my liver being inflamed, that I knew I had to do something different outside of this try every diet under the sun, whether it was paleo or keto or South Beach or Weight Watchers or any of these things. And that's when I decided to reach out to you, Dr. Bruno, and tried something different with the understanding of the macro piece and understanding what my body needs, and just continuing the workout piece, because everybody I've researched and read, and even the guy who owns the gym I go to, talks about how nutrition is well more than 50% of your lifestyle. And it's not so much the exercise, and while that's important, the nutrition and what you put in your body is definitely more important. And I've seen crazy results, not just from the weight loss piece, because I mean, the weight loss has happened. I'm down 21 pounds since we started this, like you said, 8 to 10 weeks ago, while losing inches on my waist and my hips, losing the fat in my chest and my arms, while also maintaining my strength and my muscle and actually gaining strength through this.
Yeah.
And my counts came back when I went to the doctor a couple weeks ago, very good. He was very impressed with the changes I've made, to the point where he wants to phase out some of the cholesterol medication I'm on, which is a huge step for me, just because of what that does to your internal organs. So,
Dude,
yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't even know that stuff yet, guys. So
Yeah.
that's huge for anyone. And then even with your health history, even so much more important. But so really, just to kind of in a nutshell, like struggling, like, and you can, a lot of times when I work with athletes, and I was the same way. I never had to really pay attention to my nutrition that much, because we're so active. And then what happens is then we call it our life weight, or whatever you want to call it, but really you're just not as active, and the nutrition piece becomes so much more important as you get a little bit older. And for you, it was like a lot of my clients and even me, like trying different things and not really, maybe seeing some results, but not ever having anything that really is maybe long-term, or anything that you actually feel like you can stick with too. I don't know. That's usually what a big thing with that I find. But I guess like, just really specifically talked about results. Like, I guess what's like been the biggest help after like having your nutrition program, and then we were talking about really having the accountability piece, really
Hmm.
seeing the results consistently. I guess like kind of what's been the biggest help for you, and it can be more than one thing, obviously.
I think you nailed them both on the head. One was the layout of the nutrition piece. I was very bad at backloading. Um, I was very bad at backloading my calories in the day just because of my work schedule. Being, being a director in a charter school, doing a lot of the finance and business piece. My days, I hit the ground running and I don't stop. And there were many days where I wasn't eating a lunch or I wasn't bringing a lunch and I'd have to get takeout. And then I was backloading all my calories in the evening before I go to bed, because I was starving at that point. Um, and really, you and Mary too, both of you guys really showing me how to portion calories properly throughout the day to where I'm feeling full, I'm feeling
Mhm.
comfortable. My
Good.
snacks can be very high quality snacks. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4" and I'm now down to 248, but I mean, I'm 6'4", I'm a big guy. So to try getting the protein I need every day, I had to really focus on how my layout of my days was, and then the meal prep piece of it. And then also, like you said, the accountability. I love my wife. I really do. We just had our 8th anniversary yesterday,
Oh,
and but she's 5'1", 105 pounds and in shape all the time, and she can eat whatever she wants. She's just got that type of body, and she'll harp on me, and I needed somebody else or other people that struggle the same way I do to just show
mm,
me the differences and how it's okay that we struggle, how it's okay if we're a
mm,
little bit over in one day, but we balance that back out, and really sticking with that, but also no, but also with the nutrition piece. And this was a big one for me. And I don't know if it is for your other clients, but, or anybody else watching this, I should say, I used to treat food almost as an idol and as a reward.
mm,
So when I was doing good in the gym or doing whatever, I could have that reward of whatever I wanted as food, instead of looking at food as a whole, as what it is, which is nutrition for my body, and being able, if I want to have an ice cream and I have the calories built in, then hey, I can go have that
mm.
scoop of ice cream on that day. But being, um, just being aware of, this is part of my calories. Do I have it? And all of that other stuff. And I think that really helped change my mindset toward food and what made this successful.
I love that. Yeah, man. That's I mean, at the end of the day, just when we can switch our mindset to it not being a short-term 6 week or 21 day thing where I'm on this and then I get to be off of it. But like you said, like, I mean, if you want to have ice cream every day, and that's when we break down numbers, it's maybe 10% of how much that you eat calorie wise or whatever. But the other 90% is making you full and it's actually supporting your life and your workouts. And you should have it. It's gonna, that's how you make it into a lifestyle. So I love that so much. So cool. Yeah, I mean, the only other question, if someone was out there, they've tried a lot of diets, like you have, they've tried everything, they get some results, but nothing seems to stick. I mean, what advice do you have for them? Like, where do you think they could start?
I think the biggest thing is to know yourself, and know what isn't working, and then find that accountability. Like for me, it was you, and I hope for many others, it's reaching out to you and Mary and to all the others in the group that are holding each other accountable and in that chat. But definitely coming to an understanding with yourself and knowing what hasn't worked and what isn't working, and making a change. You can't keep continuously trying to beat a square peg into a round hole. You've got to make a change. And I think that for me, it was definitely reaching out to you and the work that you and Mary have done, the accountability you guys give everybody, and then just the meals, and teaching about the food piece for me. I can't say as much on the exercise side because of
Yeah,
everything I do myself there. But definitely from the other pieces,
awesome.
that's the one thing I would do.
I love that. Yeah. So I guess really like specific for someone, things that haven't worked, and this is my for me and for all my clients, things that haven't worked is a short-term diet. Something that's like, hey, I'm gonna lose I mean, you could tell me, I want to lose 10, 15 pounds this month. And what's the fastest way to get there? And if you've been doing that over and over again and you want something and it hasn't worked because, now you look back in the last 5, 10 years and you're like, well, I actually weigh more than I did when I started doing these diets every, couple months or whatever. You need to have something that's long term, and you gotta put your feet in the ground. And that I really want to touch on really quick. I don't want to keep you any longer, but really investing in yourself. This is a big thing when someone comes to me. They're like, how much does it cost? I'm like, yeah, it costs money. But to be honest, the money isn't really for me. The money is for you to invest in yourself and into the program. Because what I do, this, it's not some magical formula that I'm cooking up in my backyard or something. Like, it's science. It's all out there. Talk about that really quick, like putting in, you really put your money where your mouth is, literally. And has that made an impact on you at all in terms of your results, you think?
Oh, for sure. Like you said, it's an investment, and everything we do that we want, like the car sitting right behind you, ultimately is an investment. And health and our fitness is no different than anything else we want. If you want to look good at work, you're going to invest in the clothes. If you want to look good in your body, you're going to invest in your nutrition and your exercise. And for some people, your accountability. You invest in what you drive, you invest in your family, and a lot of those come with some sort of price tag one way or another, but it's the value you get out of it that ultimately makes it.
Absolutely.
And the value you guys have provided has definitely made it worth it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it so much, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more to go for you, but
sure.
Glad we're able to give everyone out there an update on how you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think big picture is like, hey, whatever history you have, whatever you used to always be heavy or your family was heavy, you can overcome those things.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't, I think Joe's a good example of, he could have let him being 315 pounds, him being a football, all my football players, hey, you got to be big your whole life. But, get to a point where you hit 30 and, you're kind of like, well, I don't need to be big anymore. It shouldn't be. So thanks so much, Joe. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good one.